Alrighty friends, today we're going to talk about conversations with salon guests. If you haven't watched my consultation video, go watch that one first, then come back, because that's step one. Okay, now that you have the tools for a solid consultation, let's dive into what to talk about with your guests for the rest of the appointment. First, we're gonna go over some conversation topics to completely avoid. Then I'll go into great conversation starters that will generate more income for you as well as change the subject naturally. No politics, no religion for the most part, and no negative talk about others, especially other stylists' work. It's just not a good look to badmouth others, especially hairstylists, because it's just not good for the industry. We are women supporting women, stylists supporting stylists. We just don't want to be icky towards other people. Even if you have your own thoughts and opinions, just keep it to yourself and welcome the client in. Okay, so if one of those things kind of comes up and catches you off guard and you really don't know how to maneuver around it, a great way to change the subject is saying something like, okay, well, so walk me through your routine after you've washed your hair. I suggest taking care of business first, then chatting it up with your guest. Sometimes we have hours with our guests, so there's plenty of time for small talk and getting to know each other, but our goal is to establish trust by solving their problems. Once you offer solutions to their problems, you not only earn their trust, but also respect. In our consultation form, we ask quite a few questions that address not only cut and color, but also their lifestyle and pain points they have with their hair. This is super helpful because they are telling you what they need help with. Now you just have to give them the answer. If you want our done for you consultation form we use in the salon, I have it for sale for $25. It's linked in the description below. You're welcome to it. Knowing their current home care and styling pain points sets you up for success when it comes to retail sales. Most stylists get caught up in not wanting to feel salesy. And trust me, nobody wants to feel salesy, but with this method, you aren't selling anything that they didn't ask for help with. If anything, you are coming to their rescue with things that are going to make their life better. Then they know you're only recommending products to them, not just to sell them, but to truly help them. It's a win-win. Pro tip is to talk home care products throughout the whole appointment, multiple times, consultation, at the shampoo bowl while you're using the products, and while you're styling with that. If you're interested in learning more about this, comment, because I could make a whole video on just this topic. But for time's sakes, I'm gonna leave it at that. Be genuine about getting to know your guest's personal life. Now that we've taken care of business and gotten the retail established and established ourselves as experts by helping our guests with their home care routine, now we can dive into them. I know there's a study done somewhere by someone, sorry I don't have the source, but it states that the person who talked most in the conversation feels better afterwards. And trust me, I know us hairstylists, we can talk, but this is their time to talk and we want to keep it all about them. Let's be real, most of us can work faster when we aren't talking anyways. Don't get me wrong, this is definitely a great way to let them in on who you are as a person, but be careful not to overshare or trauma dump. Steer clear of anything you haven't already healed from, especially at the first few appointments. You want to ask questions about them and their life. Ask about kids, pets, travel plans, partners, really get to know them. Remember, for some people, these topics can be triggering. I've had clients that can't have kids, so asking if they have kids can kind of be a touchy subject. Or someone who's just gone through a divorce doesn't want to talk about having a spouse. Over the years, I've changed the way I've asked these questions. I say, tell me about you. Do you have anyone special in your life? Most people have someone special that they like to talk about. This will get the convo going in the right direction. I don't like to ask, what do you do for work? Or are you in school? This sounds like you've made an assumption about them, especially stay-at-home moms, because they work, they just don't get a paycheck. A better way of asking this is to say, how do you spend your time during the week? Then you get to know more about their hobbies or leisure activities. You can say, how do you spend your free time? Personally, I enjoy travel and hearing about other people's travel, so I always ask if they have anything fun planned for the year. All of these questions help you get to know them as well as showing them that you care. Pro tip, take notes about all of the above for active listening. I'm sure by now you've heard the term active listening. This actually means retaining what they are telling you and picking up on some nonverbal cues. First, let's talk retaining. Us hairstylists really be doing the most, and it's really easy to forget what your guests have told you. So please take good notes right after you see them, especially if you are new and not fully booked. Block off 15 minutes after each appointment to take notes on everything you've used, color, hair care products, and then take it a step further and write down how many kids they have, what do they do for a living, do they have a trip coming up. This is definitely an advanced strategy, but I only coach to excellence. And if you want to stand out in the industry, remembering key things about your guests will help you retain and strengthen the relationship that you have with them. Plus, writing down your formula is a non-negotiable. This needs to be a habit because when they come back and want you to do the same thing exactly and you have no idea, it can cause panic and inconsistency. I always tell my clients I write everything down so that we can tweak it according to their preferences for the next time. This really gives them peace of mind. If you have a hard time remembering, attach this new habit to an existing habit. Either write it down in that time block after they leave or right as you're putting the color away. Secondly, let's get into nonverbal cues. Lots of guests have had trauma when it comes to getting their hair done, and sometimes they don't know how to say how they feel. So it's our job to read their nonverbal cues and give them permission to tell us how they truly feel. In the very beginning of my appointment, especially if it's a new guest, I tell them that we are now getting into a relationship with each other, and the key to a great relationship is communication. Then I say, you wear your hair, not me. I can't read your mind, and if there's ever something you need adjusted, please don't be afraid to tell me. You pay me good money for your hair, and I want you to really love it. This allows them to feel comfortable bringing anything up, which if they do, be thankful. Do not gaslight them. This means that they want to continue to work with you. If they didn't, they might never come back, or even worse, they might write a bad review and just ghost you. Now, adjustments or fixes are definitely nuanced. You'll need to set boundaries like an acceptable timeline for them to let you know. I also won't do a free adjustment if they wanted something that is not achievable in one session, but I would have already prepared them for that in my consultation. And I also won't do a free adjustment if they ended up not liking the new look on themselves. As long as I delivered what we talked about in the consultation, the key here is going back to your solid consultation and reiterating what y'all agreed on. Most of the time, the problem is miscommunication that happened in the consultation. That's why it's so important to be sure to watch that video about consultation linked below. Trust me, I've been there several times in my career, and it's always heartbreaking, panic-inducing when the client doesn't like their hair. It does not make you a bad stylist, but the way you handle it does define your character. You would much rather rectify the problem and retain them rather than making them feel stupid and not doing anything about it. Did you learn something? I hope that I helped you have a great conversation with your clients behind the chair that will foster great relationships as well as produce more revenue in your business. If you found this video helpful, consider liking and subscribing. I'd love to see you again. And if this got your wheels turning and you'd like to know more, drop a comment. I will respond to them all. Thank you so much. See you on the next one.